Hello everyone, this is Shalini Joshi Amdagli from magicalpainfreeliving.com, and this is our weekly Facebook Live session that I do every Thursday at 11 o'clock Bangkok time. And I want to welcome you to today's Facebook Live session, which is, the topic is Love Can Heal Physical Pain. I hope you can see this. Love can heal physical pain. And what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you, let me see where it is. So we're going to be looking at what's love got to do with physical pain, some key questions that you can ask if you are in any sort of chronic pain, and also, discover how the feeling of love can heal physical pain. So if this is interesting for you, or you feel like this might be something that can help some friend, colleague, please tag them in the comment section below so that they can watch this on replay and benefit from this sharing. So back to the topic, love can heal physical pain, and we're just coming off the celebrating Valentine's Day. In fact, in some parts of the world, it is still Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day if you celebrate Valentine's Day. And I hope that you're feeling a lot of love and, feeling good, celebrating with loved ones, friends. Love, can mean so many things. There's so many aspects of love. So I hope you've had a love-filled day celebrating Valentine's. Hi, Linda. Welcome here. Nice to see you. So, talking about love can heal physical pain, and your question might be, what's love got to do with it? What's love got to do with physical pain? I'm in chronic pain. Maybe you're suffering right now in chronic pain, and I so resonate with you. I don't want to make light of chronic pain because I have been in chronic pain for a long, long time. I had been in chronic pain, which had confined me to bed rest indefinitely at a time when my kids were just, 5 and 4 years old. So I've been through that pain, and I've been through all the frustrations and, feelings of hopelessness and helplessness and just feeling, like a victim of my circumstances. So I really get, if you are watching this and if you are in chronic pain, I'm so glad that you're joining this, because I feel like this sharing will help you in some way. Okay, and so talking about what's love got to do with physical pain, let me explain this from my experience and telling you a little bit about my own story. So 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with an illness because of which I was in chronic pain, and nothing that I was trying was helping me, whether it was, the pills, the medications, the injections, the physiotherapy, the ultrasound therapy, hot packs, cold packs, rib support, neck support. So I was, in chronic pain all the way, all of my upper body. And the pain, which began just as a pinprick pain in my left rib area, over time spread all over my ribs, all over my back, shoulders, neck, so that I found it hard to operate on a day-to-day basis. I had to quit my job, and I had to be on bed rest. I had to give up driving my kids to school every day, and it was not a happy place. But what I was doing was, at the time, I was trying all these things out there, things that people were suggesting, bombs and pills and, using equipment like ultrasound therapy. And, they offered little relief. And what I found was that the pain actually got worse over time. And so eventually I had to quit my job and be on bed rest. And I couldn't understand what else I could do. I was helpless, and I felt like my life was over because it had come to sort of a standstill. where physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I just was on a pause. And I really didn't know what to do. And I thought, if all these experts in Thailand, Thailand is famous for medical tourism. It's the hub, it's the mecca for medical treatments. And I thought, if all these medicines and all these doctors can't help me, if these experts don't know how to help me, then I'm stuck for good. And it was a very depressing place. But I happened to attend a seminar back then. I was actually forced to attend a seminar by a friend that I didn't want to, because I had tried so many things out there, which was, and I was not getting any benefits. I thought, what is this seminar going to do for me? I was, I had sort of given up. But there's a part of me that was desperate, because I was a mother and my kids were so young, and I didn't want to spend the rest of my life on a bed. And so I made myself go to the seminar, and it was the most amazing thing that happened, because I heard the words that you create your life with your thoughts, and you create your disease with your thoughts. And I thought, how is it even possible to create physical pain for yourself? I was thinking of all the technical things that were wrong with my body, which the doctors explained to me, that there's inflammation of a ligament that connects the ribs and the breastbone, and that's why I have this chronic pain. And I'm sure if you are in chronic pain, you know about inflammations, because you get these anti-inflammatory pills to help you deal with the chronic pain, right? But 10 years on the other side, it's been 10 years since I healed myself out of the chronic pain. What I understand is that, the very, the quote that you hear over and over again is, you create your life with your thoughts, you create your life with the way you feel, is absolutely true. And I didn't know that I was creating this big, dis-ease in my body because of what was going on in my life emotionally, not physically. So I was, in many areas of my life, I was out of love. I didn't love my job. I was frustrated at my job. I hated my job. I felt suffocated going to my job. I didn't connect with my job. I just felt like a robot going through the motions, but there was no joy. There was no love. There was no passion at all. And when I went home, I realized that I was not, operating from a place of love. Even with my kids and my husband, I was frustrated. I was edgy. I was overly sensitive, and I was acting out in anger and frustrations. And so I was out of love for my own loved ones, right? And even back at work, I didn't feel love and connection with the people that were around me. In fact, I was resentful. I was resentful of the people who were doing well. I was resentful of the people who were, getting salary increases and who were, speeding past me as I stood on pause and just watching this and feeling anger and frustration, And also I wanted to be at a job that would offer me flexible time so that I could be with my kids, but where I would love the job too. And I thought to myself, that's not even possible. So, so I was out of love, and I was out of love for myself. I didn't feel love for myself. I felt anger and resentment and frustration that I wasn't, I didn't know what my passion was, or it was, so I was very angry at myself too. So I was out of love for my job. I was out of love for myself. I was out of love in my relationships. And I felt a complete disconnect and, in my relationship with my life. There was nothing that, that felt love in my life back then. And so what happens is that when we are in chronic pain, we tend to think of it as something physical, but actually, as I went within, attending that seminar and, becoming aware that you're creating this with your thoughts and with your feelings, I was exposed to this tool, this technique, which is called Emotional Freedom Techniques. It's known as tapping. It's called EFT. And as I discovered it, and as I started using this tool to heal my physical pain by addressing all the areas of my life that felt out of love, where instead of love, there was anger and guilt and shame. Instead of love, there was, past hurts. So my inner world was filled with all these heavy negative emotions that were fueling my day-to-day life. And what I've understood, I'm going to show you this little emotional scale. So, this is where I was hanging out on a day-to-day basis. And I don't know if you're in chronic pain, maybe you can relate. I was mostly in this area. Joy and appreciation and love was way out of my league, way out of my reach back then. And so what happened is, the more I hung out here, whether at work, whether at, in my relationships with my kids, I would feel like a bad mother. I was screaming at my little ones, and then I felt so much guilt and shame. And that cycle just continued. And I didn't understand why, when I was trying so hard to break free from my physical pain, that I was, experiencing even more. Like I said, the pain that started as a pinprick pain in my left rib was now all over my upper back. So I really couldn't understand. But now, having come out on the other side and having healed myself from my chronic pain and helping thousands of others over the past 10 years, here is what I have come to understand. I'm a big fan of Abraham Hicks, if you haven't heard them. And, what you think and how you feel and what manifests is what manifests in your experience. It's always a match. And what was happening is that because I was hanging out, my daily hangout, my daily emotional vibrational hangout was here. What does law of attraction do? When you think of law of attraction, you only think of, I'll think this and this is what I'll get. I'll visualize this and this is what I'll get. And law of attraction is not just about thinking what you want and getting it. It's, law of attraction, like the law of gravity, is always working. And it's always, getting back to you what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So if on a day-to-day basis, you're going to be over here feeling anger and guilt and shame and frustration and, resentment and hurt, then that's what you experience more of. And I remember the time when I was so angry at my work and I was so frustrated and I wasn't enjoying it. I was feeling suffocated being there. I remember there was a time when the company announced salary cuts, and as it is, I was not happy there. And then there was salary cuts. And then I had to take, this slash in my salary, which was, a lot more frustrating. And I felt more anger and more hatred. And it was just like a downward spiral, because what you're feeling on a day-to-day basis is what the law of attraction will get you more of. The law of attraction doesn't say, hey, you're feeling sad. It's not like your mom. It's not going to say, oh, you're feeling so sad. Here, come, let me comfort you and give you what you want. The law of attraction just, says that which is like unto itself is drawn. So whatever you are feeling and vibrating is what you attract. And I was not feeling love or appreciation or joy at all in actually most areas of my life. And, so I was hanging out in this space most of the time. And so what happens is momentum, right? I hope you can see this, but the momentum of those negative feelings was so strong, and over a long period of time. It was about 10 months that I'd been feeling unhappy and sad and frustrated, and little things kept happening along the way, which built the momentum of negative feelings and thoughts. A lot of people think, that something big must have been going on, which is why you have some big negative manifestation, whether it's a disease or whatever. Maybe it's something at work, but it's not always. Sometimes maybe it's a big trauma, but usually it's what I call piles of resistance, a term that I've learned from Abraham Hicks' teachings, piles of resistance. So, it wasn't just one thing that I was unhappy at work, but it was, frustrations at work, right? Self-doubt, shame, anger, self-criticism, and not just like one day, but over a long period of time. So there was all this resistance. If you think of the emotional scale, if love is at one end, I had all this resistance to experiencing love because I was hanging out and, unhappy with my finances. I was saying, what the heck are you doing? So there was a lot of self-criticism. There was a lot of old hurts that were, I was constantly reminded of. And so there was loads of different emotional forests of resistance that that kept building up and building up and building up and building up. And actually you build those piles of resistance every single day, right? Every day you go to work and you see an email or you have a conversation and there is more resistance on your way. Every time you're trying to get to your meeting and you meet traffic and you get delayed, you get pissed, you get angry. So every day we throw in these little piles of resistance until it becomes this big pile inside of us, which we can't see. And then your body speaks out with some sort of dis-ease or pain. And you think, where did this come from? Where did this mountain of pain come from? And we start to look outside ourselves. But it's really because if you've got chronic pain, or if you've got chronic anxiety, or if you're stuck with some sort of dis-ease that you've been trying to heal yourself, and you'll know that you're not vibrating here where love is. And we've heard this over and over again. I hope you have, that we are made in the image of God, and God is love. God is all loving, right? And that is who we are essentially. We are love. We are liquid love flowing, liquid love that is in flow. And when we have all this other stuff going on, it's like resistance to love. We are resisting love. We are holding on to feelings that is creating resistance to who we truly are. And so, what I had to do is I had to clear those piles of resistance. I had to clear the anger, the shame, the guilt. And I did that using the emotional freedom techniques. As I thought about things, experiences, past hurts, I had to clear up all those piles and piles of resistance until I felt a lot better, right? I felt a lot better. I was kind of like hanging out on the medium to like the higher end of the scale. I was feeling clarity. I was feeling peace. I was feeling gratitude, right? And I really, at that time, I was close to love because I was in love with the fact that I had healed myself completely when all these other doctors and experts in Thailand couldn't help me. I was feeling love for myself. For the first time, I felt like I love and accept myself. And in emotional freedom techniques, the tool that I used, it's interesting that we have a standard line that we say while we tap on key acupuncture points. And we say, even though I have all these problems going on, I love and accept myself. And that's the bottom line. For any issue that you have and you want to use EFT as a tool, that's what we say. Even though I have this chronic pain, even though I have this neck pain, even though I have all this anger, even though I have all this guilt and shame about what I did, I choose to love, forgive, and accept myself. So that is, you have to come back to love. You have to come back releasing all these heavy duty feelings and, vibrate back to this feeling of peace and love and joy. So, talking about what's love got to do with physical pain? Everything. If you are in physical pain, that means you are not feeling love in some area of your life. For me, it was many areas of my life. I had a guy, I had a client who was in so much chronic pain that he found it hard to walk. He just about managed to get to his office, do his work, get back home, and just be seated, just not being able to move, not being able to be there for his kids, for his wife. He couldn't walk, much because he had so much chronic pain. And what had been going on for him is that for a long, long time, ever since he was a kid, he felt unloved, unappreciated. He felt like his parents were always criticizing him, always unhappy with him. And you might say, well, that was not his fault, right? It's not his fault. It's the parents. They're not loving him. They're not being, nurturing and caring. And he was carrying around all the anger and guilt and pain. But like I said, it's the same thing. But what happens is that law of attraction is not looking at, hey, what did your mom do? What did your dad do? What did the society do? Who gave you all this pain? That's not the job of law of attraction. The law of attraction just says, what are you vibrating? What's your order? What's your frequency today? And just gives you more. And unfortunately, if you've been hanging around here for a long time, then the law of attraction will get you more and more and more and more. And you would say, why is my life getting so bad? What have I done? What have I done to deserve this? Why is this, going downhill? It's because of law of attraction. The law of attraction will bring you more of what you are vibrating at. So if you're not vibrating at love and appreciation and joy and peace, gratitude, right? You are on the other end, and momentum builds up. If on a day-to-day basis, you are at that place, even though you're not consciously doing it, even though it's not your fault that they were mad at you and they were the ones who, did these things to you, and now you're feeling anger because of them, law of attraction doesn't care. I used to be so angry at God and say, what have I done? What have I done to deserve this? Why am I suffering? Why is my job not working? Why am I being like a monster of a mother to my kids? Why is my relationship with my husband going downhill? And those were all the wrong questions, because the more you hang out on that vibe, then it just builds and builds and builds until you've got piles of resistance over decades of experience, and every day you're going to add to that pile, because every day we step out and we go through a diverse emotional landscape where you get frustrated, you get angry, you get pissed. And that's normal. And you would say, Shalini, but that's life. And I agree, that's life. But what we haven't been taught, I haven't been taught, is that you want to clear it and come back to love, just like you get dirty every single day and you shower to feel fresh again. You don't say, hey, I got really dirty. I'm smelling, I'm stinking. I don't know what to do. We'll go take a shower, right? Same way you have to take an emotional, mental, spiritual shower. You clear out all those feelings. You let go of the daily emotional hurts and angers and frustrations and come back, reboot and come back to love, which is who you are. And that's why love is at the key of everything, right? Love heals all. Whether you have a disease, you have a chronic disease, you have a chronic illness, you have chronic pain, all that means is you've got piles of resistance that you were not aware of, that you were creating by default because you didn't know. And that's how law of attraction works. We've only heard about law of attractions working for you and bringing you all your dreams and goals, and that's really great if you are vibrating at a happy, positive, peaceful, loving vibe. When your vibe is there, then whatever you're thinking, you're attracting more of that. And so the key questions that I wanted to share with you, if you are in any sort of chronic pain, chronic illness, okay, is ask yourself, I don't know if you can see this, but which area of my life feels out of love? Is it work? Am I not loving my job? Am I not feeling loved in my relationships? Am I not loving myself? Am I, in which area do you feel lack of love? Okay. Or you can ask yourself, who is hard to love? Or what situation am I in right now that's hard to love? I was stuck at a very unhappy job and I didn't feel love at all. I didn't feel passion at all for what I did. I didn't feel any inspiration. In fact, I felt suffocated getting to my job. So in which situation are you in that's hard to love? Or who is in your life right now that is hard to love? Okay, that's the question you want to be asking yourself. And question number 3 is, what about me is hard to love? Oh my God, this question, I used to think, why don't I know what I'm passionate about? Why am I stuck at this job? Why didn't I do something else? So I was really angry at myself. I had so much anger at myself. I didn't feel love for me. I didn't accept me. I just was so ashamed of me. So here are 3 questions that are related to love, but they're also related to any chronic pain, any chronic illness, disease that you are in, because this is, that pile of resistance that you have got going inside of you, even though you may not think about this every single day, even though every day I didn't say, I hate myself, I don't love myself, but I had a lot of self-doubt, shame, lack of trust and belief in myself. And so these are very important questions that you want to ask yourself and discover where in your life you are disallowing love. Where in your life are you resistant to love? Are you being resistant to love? Okay, I hope this is resonating with you. If you feel resonance, please comment below if you can relate to anything that I'm saying, or if you've had some experience that you want to share with us. It's always great. The whole group benefits by your sharing, because people who are in chronic pain are going to read the comments below. So if you relate to this, do comment below, and I hope this is helpful to you. And so, what I want to say is, how can you come back to this feeling of love? Okay, talking about Valentine's Day right now. We just passed Valentine's Day, and there's so much emotion, positive and negative emotion about relationships and love. And the truth is, I just put a post yesterday on Valentine's Day, is that, when you love you and when you have compassion for you, then it's easy to love others and to love the different, situations you're in. And how do you come back to that place of love? How do you come back to that place of love? There are different ways you can let go of the anger and the hurt and the shame and the pain and the frustrations. The technique that I use is emotional freedom techniques. And, I have tons of videos, 60 plus videos on YouTube that you can go to. I will post the link up there, but I have a YouTube video on how to let go of anger, how to get past anger. I have videos on how to, let go of feelings of unworthiness. I have videos on how to feel peace on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to post the link of my YouTube channel, and you can begin to use those videos, tapping videos, to clear out all these piles and piles of resistance that you may be subconsciously, unconsciously holding on to, so that you can begin to shift and climb up this emotional vibration ladder. And the more you do that, this doesn't mean that I'm hanging out in love every single day. No way. I said every day you'll throw piles of resistance as you move forward in the day, and something might piss you off and something might make you angry, and you'll slip away from love. But like I said, every day you get to take a shower. Every day you get to brush your teeth and clear out the dirt that collected during the day, and go back to feeling fresh, feeling love, feeling peace, feeling ease in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, in your body. And so if you are interested, I will post a link on how you can clear out all these heavy feelings using the EFT tool, Emotional Freedom Techniques, also known as tapping, where you tune in to all these feelings, and then you tap on the key acupuncture points just like this and clear out these feelings, so that you start hanging out more at peace, more at love. And what happens when you're hanging out more at love and peace and appreciation? Momentum. When you start feeling more love, more peace, more joy, more happiness, more gratitude on a day-to-day basis, because you're clearing and letting go of old stuff and daily stuff, the law of attraction brings more of that feeling, that general vibe that you are in on a day-to-day basis, and your life begins to move forward from a place of peace and love, and you find that reflected in your health, in your body, because now your body is back to its natural state of flow, state of love, state of peace. That's your natural, that's your nature, to be in flow, not to have all these circuits of, closed circuits where you're blocking love from your life. So once the circuits are open and you're flowing in love, then that's what you attract more of in every area of your life, whether it's work, whether it's your relationship with your family, with co-workers, or whatever it is, and even love for yourself. So that's what the topic is for today. It's about love and what's physical pain got to do with love. I hope this resonates with you. I hope you are able to take with you something that, something valuable from this conversation, from this sharing, so that you can begin to see how you can use it and apply it to your daily life. And if you are interested in, getting more information, you can comment below me, and I will be sharing the links to the YouTube channel, so that you can benefit from all the different ways that you can use EFT tapping to clear out decades of piles of resistance. And I really hope that you do, because that is really what's going on, whether you have physical pain from past few days, months, or decades of chronic pain. This is your key to bouncing back to a place of love and peace in all areas of your life. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to acknowledge all the people who are here. Ali, hi. Hi, Ali. Good to see you. Hi, Auntie Kumkum. Hi, Swanand. Hi, Pavan. Hi, Bita. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Shamla. Hi, Ritu. And I can't go up anymore, but thank you so much for joining. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you got something out of this conversation. I look forward to seeing you again on my weekly Facebook Live, which is every Thursday at 11 o'clock Bangkok time. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.